I felt my brain cells getting fried from how dog shit this was. 2023 was a great year for anime, is what everyone says, but how good was it really? And out of the hundreds we got, which one is the anime of the year? To find out for sure, I took the 4 most popular shows from each season, added a couple worth mentioning, and put them all in a tier list format to rank and see for ourselves what 2023 is all about. But since these shows are better than 99% of anime out there, I'll only be comparing them against one another, meaning their spot on the list will be in relation to the other shows on it. With that in mind, starting from the bottom, we got the lowest tier for the anime that arguably don't even deserve to be on here. Could be amazing but have 1 or 2 glaring issues. Extremely entertaining anime that are a step away from reaching the next level. They lean perfectly into their strengths, raising the bar and setting the standard of their genres. Masterpieces that will be remembered years from now for how much they push the limits of greatness. Oh, and this is for the shows that I haven't watched. We kick things off with
You're a Wizard, Harry.
Season 1 went even further beyond any other isekai, with the exception of. But you have to understand, I'm a character-driven person, and Mushoku had some that are great, easy to root for and fun to watch. Except this season we abandoned most of them to focus entirely on only 2, which isn't a bad thing.
Until
you realize that 50% of your focus is wasted on a fucking bland sim. But even then, the limp dick arc went pretty hard, genuinely being one of the most satisfying personal journeys of this year, which made this show low-key great.
So I could commit double suicide together with you.
One of the best anime you will ever see. That is the potential this series has. Cool characters, fascinating powers, and a unique style that makes it stand out from every anime out there. Plus it's made by the same studio that did FMA and Mob Psycho. It's really good, but I can't put it higher than this. The main reason is that the show ruins its own mood by being goofy at the most pivotal of times.
My mans.
Yeah. Bro, you just
put on your cat feet and run.
You don't fucking need the minecart. What are you doing?
Throwing you off so bad you won't know what to think anymore.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
Frieren gives off a melancholic vibe that is hard to explain, but easy to feel. At the same time being one of the top 2 anime that had me laid back and relaxed the most while watching this year. Beyond Journey's End is a DLC, the Fallout New Vegas type, adding meaning to the original journey Frieren had while at the same time discovering more about the people that surround her. When it's all done it'll probably go higher, but we'll have to wait and see. That first episode really tricked all of us into watching an idol anime, didn't it? Exploring the fucked up shit that happens in the entertainment industry wasn't something I knew I'd like, but I sure did. And Ruby's band coming together was actually not bad. But is it enough to go higher than this? Except for Aqua sexually being attracted to his own mother? I did enjoy watching this weekly. There was also that episode about cyberbullying. Thinking back, this actually was low-key great.
Actually, I'm a boy.
Horrific monsters, creepy kids, and a mystery that keeps evolving. With a production that puts Mappa to shame to wrap it all together, this was the surprise of the year. Maru and Kiriko traveling across a post-apocalyptic world with nothing except each other in search of a place they know nothing about, while somehow being connected to the Promised Neverland kids is a combination that keeps you watching, wanting to know what the fuck is happened. This was low-key great. Could have been higher, but there is an anime this year that has done even a better job with its mystery. Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 Chapter 3 Verse 8. The finale to one of the most beloved animes of all time, and it was flawless production wise, but that wasn't the issue. I felt my brain cells getting fried from how dark this was when I read it for the first time. The cycle of hatred being unescapable is a unique and grim message, but the character writing simply couldn't hold up. Eren having the power to see through all of time, yet still choosing to destroy 80% of the world and die so his friends could be seen as heroes, is truly a bird-brain move. Armin was the wrong choice. Him dying after sacrificing himself could have changed the whole story as we know it, and seeing Erwin struggle to find a new meaning in life while shouldering the guilt of his dead comrades would have been more entertaining than watching Armin do nothing for 2 seasons. His last talk with Eren? Give that to Mikasa, who literally never had a heart-to-heart with the man. The only thing going for her in the story is that she shares the same simp level as the founder Ymir, who by the way loved the man that enslaved her, killed her entire village and literally fed her to her own daughters, continuing to serve him centuries after both him and her died. The journey matters more, but we are just talking about the ending here, and my god is it overrated as fuck.
You don't have enemies.
A vengeance-fueled killing machine turning into a man whose only wish is to build a home for the weak and oppressed is probably the greatest character development I've ever seen, and it all goes back to the way it was done. The metamorphosis of his mind didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process that could only take place due to the aid of the amazing people around Thorfinn. And the OST made us feel every emotion he experienced along the way, with the final episode of the arc being one of the most heart-touching conclusions of anything ever, and a 10 out of 10 ending for a season that went even further beyond.
I'm vengeance.
I have laughed while watching this more than all the other shows on the list combined. Sid is the strongest man in the world, an entity that defies logic, that has a whole cult revolving around him. But at the same time, he's just a fucking nerd that wants to show off, and he knows it. The self-awareness he has about what he's doing is what sets him apart, and makes him lying out of his ass even funnier. It's all just a game for him, which is why he doesn't care at all about the consequences of anything that goes on. Delusional, goofy, badass, and somehow relatable? I honestly was thinking of putting this as one of the top dogs, but after watching the last 4 episodes, I can't. Because it went even further beyond. If you know, you know. Buddy...
Daddy, chill.
Haven't heard anything about this one, but from the looks of things it seems like it's about 2 guys taking care of a kid. Looks wholesome. But you tell me, is it worth watching?
Spy family.
I enjoyed season 1, especially that dodgeball episode, but I didn't keep up with what came after it.
Who would look at Nezuko and think she's ugly?
Ufotable really made season 2 surpass everything that came before it. A true masterclass in classic battle shonen. And when I saw how the bad guys for this season were 2 upper moons that are stronger than the previous guy that took everybody to beat, I was hyped to see what was in store for us. And it was really good, but it didn't live up to its own standard. In Pokemon terms, the fights felt like an encounter on the road rather than a gym leader battle. Unlike Gyotaro, who was a true boss fight, this felt lackluster in a way. Which is gonna make my next take sound crazy, but Hell's Paradise was low-key great. The premise of convicted death row criminals going to a mystical island, rumored to be heaven on earth in search of an elixir that could bestow immortality to the one who drinks it, sounds like Indiana Jones meets Suicide Squad made into an anime. But that alone wouldn't be enough to put it up here. What pushes it over the edge is Gabimaru, someone who wants to go back to the person that changed his life and made him a better person, his wife, while fighting against himself not to turn back into the killer he once was.
You don't know me, son! You know me, son!
The first part was phenomenal, and part 2 just continues the ride of the 1000-year blood war. I honestly thought it was a top dog, but the last 2 episodes took it even further beyond. The redemption of the Zero Squad was unbelievable, and the disrespect that this man showed was too good not to put up here.
I'm with the science team.
Like Spy Family, I've seen the first season way back. It was interesting, but I didn't get around to watching the new episodes.
药师日记
This is the sole reason this video is coming out late. Because I binged through the 12 episodes that are out, and my god am I happy I did. As a fan of Chinese history written by Japanese people, this was something I needed. The story of a girl getting abducted and sold to work as a servant at the Emperor's pleasure hall turns out to be lighthearted and yet immersive. And the only reason it works as good as it does is because our girl here is a top tier main character, easily one of the top 5 of this year. There is still halfway to go for the season, but up to now it's been low-key great. Pluto. Astro Boy, but written by the author of Monster. That's how you get the mystery anime of the year. It starts out very slow, but when it gets into gear, you're in for a ride. As the questions keep piling up and you try your best to find answers, you'll discover that you've been sliding the slippery slope, unable to turn back. This is a top dog.
I got bitches all on my dick.
Haven't watched it, but the character designs look... A short, neatly done flashback arc that transitions seamlessly into absolute chaos. This season was amazing. In spite of what's happening at MAPPA, the animators delivered with some of the most expressive and fluid battles we've ever seen. Everyone knew that this was gonna be good, but it still somehow managed to exceed expectations. Even outside the anime itself, the drama, the memes, and the absolute brain-melting experience that this season presented will never be seen again, making it, alongside Villain Saga, go further than any other show this year. Bleach's arc is still ongoing and we're gonna see more of it in the future, but these two gave us their all right now. Two sides of the same coin of greatness. I can't really decide between these two, so I'll leave it up to you to choose. What is the anime of the year? Maybe it is another show on the list, or one I've totally missed. Tell me your opinion down below, and until next time, stay safe.